Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to the Pitch Perfect podcast, featuring myself, Kiki, and Elaine.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, most
Yeah. So next segment then.
anyway, moving on. No, I'm okay. I'm good, Just it's a work day. So
Mm-hmm.
had work and yeah, I had work.
And now we're
And
here.
now we're here. So that's life. How are you doing?
I'm tired, which is not surprising to anyone listening or watching whatsoever. Um, but yeah, it's just summer right now. My allergies are flaring up with like hay fever and all that. So it's just a bit of a struggle to sleep. It's weird saying it's summer. Um, it feels like it was just last year. Because it was, I guess. But, it feels too soon. But yeah, no. Kind of eyes watering, sneezy. Hopefully that doesn't come up while we're like recording. Yeah. And otherwise kind of generally out of it. But
That it,
okay otherwise.
that does not sound very good.
Emotionally we're here.
That
Physically we're like here.
okay. So we're always just kind of on the same wavelength. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing in this case. I mean, like, the being up here thing is good. Yeah. Otherwise, nothing really else new to report, so I guess that's the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. Feel free to follow us on...
Please like and subscribe.
No, things are okay. I promise. If I sound weird, that's the reason why.
You don't sound weird.
In my head, I do. Well, like, when you get congested, this is, like, the weirdest thing to talk about in, like, a Flesh and Blood podcast. But, when you get, like, I think you get hay fever or allergies from, like, pollen.
I don't know.
Or am I thinking
What
someone
is
else?
hay fever?
Oh,
Hay.
basically there's, like, too much pollen in the air, and it's assaulting my sinuses and my eyes.
Oh yeah, hay fever is an allergic reaction to airborne particles like pollen, dust mites, and pet dander.
In Wellington, our plants start to bloom, I guess. Now's the time for it, and my face doesn't like it. No.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
It happens. It's happened for like a decade or
Yeah.
so. I miss the days when I didn't have it.
I get allergies in the fall. Not in the spring. I guess I don't have hay fever. It doesn't the pollen doesn't bother me. But like the mold from and just kind of like all the leaves falling and decaying, that bothers me.
Those dang Florian players.
Freaking Florian player. Well, you're like
I was gonna
Verdant
chill.
players.
True.
Yeah.
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 If they could stop hitting me with this pollen, that'd be great.
We related the allergies back to Fab, so mission accomplished.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I've got a new backdrop. That's exciting and Flesh and Blood related.
Oh yeah, you got a little puffin. Which is exciting and Flesh and Blood related.
One of the upsides of working at a card store. When we're done with the marketing materials that we use, I guess I can just take it? I don't know. Elsa stopped printing these banners and giving them to stores, so we got permission to make them ourselves. I want to make it clear that I didn't purchase this. This wasn't a sold item. This was literally an obtained item once we were no longer using it because it was going into trash otherwise.
I didn't realize that they stopped making those and giving them to stores.
Yeah. Well, there are green spots. Yeah, we had. I think what was the last dons we actually got? I think it might have been Dusk to Dawn.
But you have a puffin one though.
I mean, like that was given to us. Yeah. And then like these ones we made, but we just had like Uprising posters on our wall and Tales of Wario posters on our wall for the longest time.
Cute.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. She looks great right above you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does feel kind of unnerving, like lying down and looking up and just seeing her kind of tower over me, but it's fine. It's protective.
I have Totoro. Can't see it.
Our
Too
neighbor.
dark. Yeah, I have our neighbor. Then I have a bunch of Pokemon and Kirby and Jujutsu Kaisen posters that are embarrassing and maybe a bit thirst trappy.
I don't know if I expect anything less from you, to be honest.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's just, Nanami Kinto and Toji. How can you not love them?
I don't know how big of a fan you were of like anime and stuff until I met you in Japan. And you showed me your bag with like all the different like gacha things you got.
Yeah. Me looking at all my figurines. Like I have like this whole like is it a YouTube exclusive? It's like Tokyo Ghoul and Death Mode collection and all of my little figurines, Uzumaki, Tomi. I have some more manga back there. Just like a lot of figurines. I'm a Kirby girl though. Anyway, we are getting so off topic.
Mm-hmm. So the dev talk.
Okay, yeah. So our weeks in Flesh and Blood, I guess, weren't that exciting. Anything else that we did? You did?
No, I got a poster. That's about it. My friend still has my deck from competing in the New Zealand Stored Championship event that isn't available anywhere else in the world at the moment. And I don't think that I thought they were going to stream it, but I guess they didn't. I don't know.
Cool. Well, yeah, and I don't.
Gravy Bones won. Just in case anybody cared.
My parents have been in town, so I haven't done anything Flesh and Blood related. I did record an episode with Tommy Fresh for Fresh and Buds, and that came out today, the day we're recording this, which is Thursday. By the time this came out, it'll have been a week, and we had a dev talk. I don't know why my lights keep turning off today. They just don't want to work. We had a dev talk come out that day. I discussed it with Tommy, but we haven't had a chance to discuss it, Kiki, so that's what we're doing today. So yeah. Where should we begin? Maybe we should talk about Sage, because last week we did a Pitch Perfect Plays Sage episode, and the week before that we had spent quite some time talking about Sage. And in both of those episodes, we kind of speculated a lot on Sage, what it would be, what it would look like, what this kind of community voting would look like, and a lot of that got cleared up in the dev talk. So first of all, I think as far as Sage as a format goes, this weekend, it will have happened by the time you're listening to this episode, but Seattle is coming up, and Seattle has its first Sage event, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see the meta breakdown. But what is interesting and what came out of this dev talk is that LSS has not actually tested this format that we're going to see this weekend at Seattle, because LSS only tested Sage post Compendium of Raid. So what do you think of that?
It's a bold take. I think it's probably fine, to be honest. Like, again, there was Project Blue leading up to Sage, very similar format, not quite the same. But people have already been playing and testing not only just Sage, but Project Blue as well. But they've been playing it for a while. So even if we take into account that there are new heroes available, being your Super Slam heroes, um, like the format so far has been exciting enough for a lot of people and gotten a lot of people hyped enough. To the point where it's probably fine that they didn't test it. I'm more glad that they have, put in the work to make sure that the format post Compendium Wraith is one that's going to be one they believe will be a good competitive format. Because for a lot of people, that's when the format's really going to start mattering. Like in terms of like the casual players, like for the most part, I'm sure it'll be fine. Um, but the fact that they've tested Compendium of Wraith and they've confirmed to themselves that they think it's a good format to justify having as a competitive format gives me a bit of faith in what we're going to see. So I guess like this event coming up this weekend, but last weekend, depending on when you're watching this, which will almost definitely be after the event's done. Yeah, like where was I going with that? Like this weekend's format is going to be a very interesting one to watch, and like I'm sure to some extent it'll match match the vibe, the energy of what we're going to see in the future. But at the very least, it'll give us like a building platform to kind of jump off almost. Like we'll get an idea of what most kind of heroes are trying to do. We might see some spicy things that like people haven't thought about already. So I'm pretty keen to see how this goes. Because at the moment, Sage doesn't feel like the format for me, but all it takes is like one hero that really captures my attention to kind of flip that script almost,
Yeah. What do you think if you had to take a guess at what the most represented hero would be this weekend?
That's a great question. So far, I still think the aggro decks are still kind of pretty powerful. At least from like my experiences that I've seen in person, whether it be or played online. Again, disclaimer: if you were listening last week, most of my Sage practice games have been against aggro decks, mainly because people don't want to play these control decks into Enigma or Prism. So my view is kind of skewed more towards aggro. I feel like Fi has a lot of power still. Just the ability to apply a lot of pressure. There's the Briars and the Chains as well, obviously, where you get to play a lot of powerful above rate attacks at the cost of like your defensive value, but when your opponent's on 20 life, your defensive value doesn't matter so much when you can just take cards out of their hand. And if we do see like a slower deck, I imagine it'll probably be Terra. Terra's just got such a good value engine going. Pitching Earth cards to get the additional +1 kind of puts it on like the Ira-ish level of small incremental value while being able to block efficiently. So I think I think Terra's probably a good shout for like the Guardians. I have played Oldham in Project Blue. I don't think it kind of gets there. Like it's maybe a better defensive deck slightly than Terra, but like Terra will usually win that sort of matchup because they have that extra bonus for their like attacks across the course of the game. What about you? Do you have expectations?
No, I agree. I think Briar or Chain. I think Briar and Chain are like safe bets for most represented decks. And I agree, I could definitely see Terra coming out because Terra is both really good in Commoner and in Blitz. Yeah. We'll see. And I also just kind of, to touch on the Silver Age shopping tested past before Compendium of Wraith as a format. I agree with you. It doesn't shock me at all, really. Obviously, I already shared all my thoughts on the podcast with Tommy, so if you listen to that, you're just gonna hear him again. But Kiki hasn't listened.
Link down below.
Link down below. No, but I think that makes sense because it feels like Compendium of Wraith is like geared to support Silver Age, like to come out with Silver Age, make its debut. Like it's helping this format make its debut almost. So that doesn't really surprise me at all. And
Mhm.
I will say my hope for Compendium is like give Kasai something to do with the copper. Like we just need a rare or common card that converts copper. That's not cash in because that's banned. So like give me something to do with the copper. Please, please, please. Please, please. If and you
Something that makes this entire sellsword
yeah, like
at
anything,
rare.
anything. Yeah, on hit, turn all your copper into Centauri sellswords.
That sounds like a majestic. That seems kind of busted.
It's just put rare on it. Like I don't,
Refund blood in her hands at rare.
yeah, honestly.
How hard can it be? Just change the color from red to blue.
I'm really not asking for a lot.
Just a reason to play.
Just a reason to play.
Kasai.
Just a reason to play. Okay. Also, the voting system for Sage, as I mentioned, we got some clarity on that. So you do have to have played in a Sage event to vote on the Sage format. I think it's the top 3 heroes voted for by the community will cycle out for the next season, and also 1 hero picked by LSS will cycle out for the next season. And I guess they didn't really, because you have to have played in a Sage event, they have some kind of way of controlling the voting system, so it's not just like a bunch of people trying to troll and spike it. So yeah, thoughts on that?
Now that we have a bit more clarification on it, like, because I know this was like a big, not just a talking point, but like a point of concern that we had for the format leading up to it. 3 is not a bad number. I like that it's clear that they're like, okay, so like, if the community as a whole really doesn't like a specific hero, like there's some control over it. It's not going to be like ban every hero that is deemed problematic. And I like that, as far as we can tell, it's like seasonal, so it gives heroes a chance to get back into the format should something more problematic kind of arise. Like, we're always going to have the best deck problem where, because of bannings or removals, whatever, that a hero will step up and kind of take that mantle. And I do also like that LSS has some control over it as well by having their own addition to it as well. Did you mention that? I think you did, right? Yeah, okay, cool. I was like, am I spoiling something here? So yeah, 3 for the community, 1 for LSS. Feels like a good balance, and I'm sure undoubtedly if it doesn't quite pan out the way they hope, they're probably open to changing that. We know they're a company that's not afraid of making changes. So ultimately, I think it's okay. I'm less concerned about the voting system as I was previously. And yeah, having to actually play in the event to like have a say in the format kind of makes sense, so we don't get people just hating on things for the sake of it. And it means that, you would have had to actually have played the format and give you some idea of what you're actually talking about as a result. Of course, there's going to be people that play in their locals and they just don't like the fact that the locals might be more Prism leaning or something when they're, I don't know, a Bravo player.
Yeah. There is also another, I think I did not mention, with the, I might get this wrong, but hopefully not. So with like the voting system, right? So they're voted out for like the following season. I'm pretty sure like once you get voted out for one season, you go away for one. If you get voted out again for like the next season, like if you come back, get voted out again, then I think you're gone for like 2 seasons or like something like that. Like I think it like if you keep getting voted out, it kind of will have an exponential effect, from what I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
At that point, the hero really needs to evaluate why they're the problem,
Yeah.
really look
Go to
introspectively.
therapy. Yeah, do some
Mhm.
maybe a little wellness retreat. Like just get out of here, take a break. No one likes.
Sit in the naughty
Yeah.
corner.
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Reevaluate your behavior. Ask yourself why Kasai doesn't have a reasonable rare.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is that's Silver Age. I guess I really like the voting system as well. This was something I mentioned in past episodes that I thought was a good idea to run it this way. I like that heroes, this rotation seems to be like a seasonal rotation, so I think it'll always be kind of like fresh. I'm not sure if they mentioned, if I didn't catch it, or what, like if heroes in this format still get LL points and LL. I don't know.
I think this is the voting system is a replacement for Living Legendary.
LL, right? Because what I've always thought is weird is that there was like never an LL Blitz format. So
There was.
there was?
Yeah, we did like a Flesh and Blood trivia a while ago in one of our previous episodes. Keen-eyed listeners will remember.
I don't even remember.
One of my trivia questions was, who was the first hero to hit Living Legend? And the answer was Viserai in Blitz.
No, but yes, I know that Blitz had LL, but did we ever have a like
a Blitz Living Legend format?
Legend format, yeah.
No.
Okay,
no,
okay.
Not that
I
I
was
know.
like, what? I could have been playing old Kasai this whole fucking time?
Yeah, on your kitchen table you could have. Just bring friends over.
My old Coalfoil Kasai is dying to be played.
This is where we see the ulterior motives now. Why we want old Kasai to have a playable rare.
No, she would look so pretty on my... Anyway, we can move on. Let's stick to 20 life formats though, because Blitz is moving on to be I don't know if my cats have the remote control for my lights or what's going on, but now they're green. Anyway, sticking to 20 life formats, Blitz is moving to singleton, and everything is legal. All heroes are legal, no longer a competitive format, and a singleton format. So that is super interesting.
Yeah. I think the key thing to note here is that it's no longer a competitive format.
Yeah.
So, honestly, let people have their fun, A singleton format definitely appeals to some people. We've seen it across other games as well, where that kind of one-off variant really appeals to, the casual side of play. And, have at it, honestly. When there's nothing super competitive on the line, go for it and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure, again, it's going to be one of those, casual side event kind of formats, or maybe your local does it on their, not casual armory nights, but there was, anyway, a casual event kit thing. Some stores like to run different formats, wacky, fun formats, and now Blitz can be one of those.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fun. I love wacky formats. I've never played any format that's singleton, except one time I was going through a phase where I was basically playing singleton Azuri and CC, and that was a me problem. That was not something I would recommend doing, or anything that I was doing for. It was just a phase. It's just a phase. Just a weird time of my life.
Trade binder Azuri deck.
That literally. I called it pile Azuri, and that's quite literally what it was. Yes, I think Blitz Singleton sounds fun. I love it. I can run one blood on her hands and play my Coalfoil Kasai.
She's back. We found a format.
She's back. I also think that Singleton in Blitz presents really interesting. might require some pitch stacking setup for these longer games. Like, that might be interesting.
Mhm.
I kind of like the idea of that. Uh, I love wacky formats, though. Of course, this is not a competitive format, um, and neither is Living Legend anymore. Being put on a back burner.
For
Yeah,
now.
for now.
I will say just real quick on the Blitz kind of thought train. It does exacerbate one of the problems that Blitz kind of has. Same with like the legendary kind of cards, something like a Wrath of Retribution, where it becomes more of a feel bad when your opponent draws that power card that just outright kills you. Like when you're playing against a Rhino, your game is going to feel worse if they draw their one of Blood Rush Fellows than if they don't, kind of thing.
Right.
That does exacerbate that a little bit, but of course you are going to see that card in theory half as much. That's not exact math, like, but you know, you'll see that it'll happen less.
It is kind of exact math, though. If you were allowed to run 2 and now you can run 1, that's half as much.
Yeah, and like if we're gonna get into like pedantics about it, depends on like how long the games go,
Right, yeah.
how many cards your opponents are gonna see. There's because you know there's also a chance to draw 2 at that period. Anyway,
Yeah.
beside the point, you're gonna see it less, roughly half. And like, so I think the increased variance, like you're just gonna have to really focus on the fact that this game, this Blitz game, no longer means anything. It doesn't matter, just have fun.
Yeah, no, true. Like, that's what we're here for. Just have fun. This, and this is like this is a singleton format. It's no longer like Blitz. Because I was gonna say, like, now playing Blitz will have like some nostalgia to it, but like, it won't, because this is totally different. It'll be fun though.
Yeah.
It'll be fun and wacky, and everyone is gonna love it.
And they'll diedify.
Yeah.
Because every card is already basically the same anyway. But now they have stubby hammers again, so you're just gonna diedify.
I'm gonna figure out how to beat it on Kasai. Actually, I did. No, that was Zen. Back when Zen and Blitz was like popping off and going crazy, and I was running 1 saber and that shield. What the heck is that shield? I don't know how it worked.
The one that like it blocks for 1?
Yeah.
If you have less life than your opponent or something.
Warrior shield. What?
It's not like Bloodied Oval, is it?
No, it's not Bloodied Oval. It's like I can see the card. It's like red with a white and gold Bastion of Unity. When this defends with the card from hand, this gets +1, and it has temper. So you get anyway. I was able to fatigue Zen with Kasai. My spicy list. That's irrelevant though, because Living Legend is gone.
For now.
We have more things to talk about. Yeah.
How are we gonna fit Kasai into this conversation?
Joke?
So, Living Legend is disappearing as a competitive format for now, and that comes, of course, with the announcement of Silver Age being brought in as a competitive format. And it kind of makes sense. It's not the most well-received format. Because I'm tied to your cat. It's not the most well-received format. At least, you know, it's difficult to get into. There's a lot of like nuance in it, but we did see some pretty exciting stuff at the most recent Living Legend event. So like the format has promise, I think. I don't know. I personally like Living Legend a lot. So I can see where they're coming from with it, just putting it aside. But it's still there. It's still going to be available as like a format you can play at your local stores, at side events, and like people still want to play some of their old heroes, but they might just need to like work on the chain Starvo problem. They might need to just let people get a little bit more nostalgic for the old heroes again. But
Yeah, I personally think that, like, I don't know, I'm indifferent to Living Legend. I don't really mind it as a format. It's definitely not my favorite format. But I don't know. I don't really mind it. I guess I'm indifferent. I do think that, like, it was maybe introduced too early into the competitive scene. Like, it, I barely started missing Briar, and then I could play her again, um, which was super
mhm,
cool, and I think did have some value for, like, uh, I don't know, helping with, like, my upfront investment what into the game was, like, Starbow and Briar, and both of those decks got, like, LL, so kinda, I guess, helped for people in situations like that, like, financial, like,
mhm.
their collections and decks were still, um, playable, so that felt good, but as far as the format, I was pretty indifferent to it, didn't, like, love it, didn't hate it. Um, I guess I don't know, I was gonna say I'm sad to see it go. I'm not, because I was really indifferent. So, I'm not, honestly, I'm gonna be just fine without it. The
Mhm.
one thing I am curious about is with Living Legend kind of replacing CC, I am really interested in seeing how pro the pro players, the competitive players, if they take to Silver Age better than they took to Living Legend, or if they, until the end of time, are going to want competitive high gear Flesh and Blood to just be CC and are limited. Like, and some people don't even like limited being part of high tier events.
I think the absolute spikes are they're gonna figure it out and play the game regardless. If they're players that are very good at the game and love the game, a solid chunk of them are going to love it, even if it is a Silver Age format. As long as Silver Age isn't too like high rolly in the same way that Blitz was, I guess.
Yeah.
As long as they can play a game where they have agency, like competitive players will be fine.
Yeah.
Like the agency is the key thing there. What I do think is that it'll draw more of the less like the tier belows, who maybe prefer a 20 life format because it's shorter, but still want to play like competitively and well with agency. It'll bring more of them up, I think. I do think that the higher competitive players probably did enjoy Living Legend a lot to an extent, but
Yeah.
the kind of people that love to solve the big puzzle of a metagame probably salivated at the fact that there was an even bigger pool of puzzle pieces to build their puzzle out of.
Well, if you want, maybe if the player base with both of these formats gone still want these massive big puzzles, they can have an eternally big puzzle at Eternal Weekends, which is Flesh and Blood announced, which I guess will just be these weekends where we get to play these no longer competitive formats. They'll just kind of come back. I don't think we know a whole lot about them. Like, will they be at LGSs or run more officially? What, are we just gonna get like special promos? I don't know. But it seems like with the plan of Eternal Weekends, we're still going to have some amount of accessibility on a lower stakes, but like these formats will get some kind of official support.
Is this what's replacing Skirmish?
Is Skirmish dead?
Like, there's
They're gone.
no, sorry, Blitz Skirmish is gone now.
Yes.
There's no more Blitz Skirmish. So I guess like this could kind of take that spot, right? Like, it leaves it open. If it is a store level event, you can have a worldwide weekend where Living Legend is the format, and they can do like a Living Legend exclusive promo. Maybe something like an alternate version of a living legend hero or something. You know, you could do maybe an alternate art Briar.
Cause
That could be kind of neat. A Starvo even, because that was never available anything lower than Majestic.
true.
Just realized what you thought.
I didn't say anything.
If I remember, I'm gonna make Kasai like part of the thumbnail for this episode.
How many times can you lead talking about Kasai this episode? Yeah.
But yeah, if that is the store level, like the plans for it, I don't hate it. I like the idea of having it. It's just functionally like a skirmish event.
Yeah, I hope it is something like that and not something that's like run on like a larger scale, because then I think it is just, I don't know if it's something that's worth traveling to, but it's still gonna give me FOMO, you know? Yeah.
If it's like a world tour date kind of thing,
Yeah, like
it
how they used to do the world premieres, where it was like the world premieres happening at the same time, but there's one like in Europe, there's one in the Americas, and there's one in like Australia, and it was like all at the same time, super hype. And there was like, 3 of them. I miss when they did that for premieres, but like if it was something like that, that'd be sad, I think.
I think that's verging on like the tier 3, tier 4 events, and I think they're avoiding Blitz and Living Legend being active parts of those.
Yeah.
My gut instinct is that that's not going to be the case. They might be there for like side events again.
Yeah.
I'm almost fairly certain that there will be side event formats that will be offered, and you'll get your little pot of 8 and have a great time with a 3-round event where you get some tickets.
Speaking of side events, it seems like commoners no more.
Which honestly makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Like, I think
commoner is so fun though.
I have played it a handful of times only. But, like, you don't want to stretch the team too thin trying to figure out multiple formats, especially when one of them's intended to be a competitive format, being Sage, obviously, and then one of them is not, being Commoner. And, like, the crossover between the two is kind of enough that, like, maybe they don't need to put too much of an emphasis on it. Again, there's nothing stopping you from organizing this with your friends and playing it at home, or maybe working with your local store to run a Commoner event,
Yeah, I mean,
people have been making their formats since the dawn of time.
I don't think it needs to exist anymore with Sage, because like they're both are very affordable formats. So it doesn't feel like they're like different enough to do both.
Yeah.
And you make a really good point of like running a team thing, because like there's with a lot of formats currently. At the end of 2025, as we currently speak, technically, we still have Living Legend, Blitz, CC, Sage, because this weekend, and Commoner. That's 5 formats, and that's like a lot for both LSS and for players, honestly. Like, it's a lot. But,
that's not even including like your draft formats, your sealed formats, your
limited.
UPF as well.
Which it did seem like, even though we've been on this limited hiatus, which I was really sad about, that limited is coming back. I think like they said the next like 3 or 4 sets are gonna have like some limited support limited. So we just had the Super Slam and Compendium, and then I think after that we've got a long stretch of limited formats, which is super exciting. Love it.
Just make sure you give me Treasure Island again. It's the best mechanic ever in limited.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're gonna be able to top that.
I hope they can.
Yeah.
Or at least match it. If you can match it or come close,
right,
I'll accept
that.
that.
Just keep giving me little mini games. I love you know what I love? A puzzle inside a puzzle. Inside the puzzle that is limited. Who doesn't love that? puzzle inception. Um, I had a segue for Commoner into Sage decks, but we've moved on from Commoner. So let's say that another thing is that these Sage decks, these Sage Precon decks are apparently, like, LSS does believe that they are going to be of a power level to take down a top tier event. Just go buy it off the shelf and win an event.
I have to assume this statement is a little bit of like talking themselves up, because I do think that these decks will be pretty powerful and provide a great base of where to work from. And yeah, you can probably win some big events, but naturally metagames will evolve and things will change. You'll need different tech pieces, so on and so forth. So I do think I could be eating my words here. I think it is a bit of an exaggeration per se, but not by much. Like, I do think when you're paying the $20 USD price point for cards that, for the most part, will not equal $20 USD, there's probably an expectation that these decks will be powerful, well-crafted, and I do think they probably have done that. And I think if you are getting into the game, these decks seem fantastic. Or if you're like me, where you're kind of too lazy to build a deck, and you're willing to spend an hour's worth of pay or more if you don't work retail, I mean less rather, if you don't work retail, on these decks, then yeah, you know, it's just convenient. If you forget your deck at home, you can pick one up. If it's your Sage Knight at your store. Or if, like, you just want to introduce friends into Sage, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to play with these weak, underpowered kind of decks. As long as they're, like, easy enough to explain, understand. You might want to avoid the Icelanders or the Kanos or any of the overly complex decks. You maybe want to skip Arachnes, but, like, you know, it'll be a great way to kind of bring people in, and then they can immediately start playing at a competent level deck-wise, at least. So they don't feel like they're too far behind or that it's a money game. I think, honestly, it's a fair price point for a product that I think should do well.
Yeah, I think that at the price point, considering only comments and rares are in there, these should be competitive level events, like you said. Like decks, like you said. Like, you can really do that with CC and Living Legend precons, because, like, you need legendaries, you need majestics, and these are expensive staple cards. But when it's just common and rares, like, you can put them in there. I make it $20 and make it a competitive deck. But I will say that, yeah. So how many Sage? I just had a thought. We have, like, a lot of Sage decks coming out, right?
8, I think.
8
4 and 4
Sage decks. Let's see if I can find this online real quick. We have all these. So let's see. Only $20. So that's a YouTube video. That's whoa. Sorry, that just okay. I found it. So is Kasai one of them?
I don't recall Kasai being one of them.
We've got Bravo.
The new Bravo, right?
Bravo. Dash. Viserai. KO.
I was wrong. There's 10.
Icelander, Arachne, Azalea, Dorinthia, Enigma, and Phi. So that's a lot of heroes. That's a widespread of heroes, and I believe that LSS's statement could be true for the first season of Silver Age, and then we have new sets come out. We have new cards introduced to the card pool, and, like, maybe that's not, meta changes, meta evolves. Like, maybe that doesn't really hold true past the first season of Sage, where it's just compendium out. Decks are built around that. I'm really curious to see if they'll ever release multiple precons for that reason, of, like, if we'll get, like, another Icelander precon or another KO precon, that's, like, updated, or if they're expecting these to hold true for the foreseeable future.
I think that would be an ambitious take. Like, I do think every time they release a new one, it'll probably be with intention of it being competitive to the time. But of course, more cards get released, new heroes come out, metagame shift. So it would be impressive if a precon from the first series managed to still be competitive a year and a half later.
Yeah,
Like, to the same extent.
it could be cool if they like release updated precons, or like, way after precon's been out for a long time, if they foresee Silver Age being like a format that's, if they want it to continue to be a competitive format for the next 10 years, if like they release either updated precons or like little, maybe even just like an update your precon like little set, something like that.
That could be really cute.
Yeah.
If they just release like a box set of cards for like each of the heroes that contains cards that weren't in them previously.
Yeah, it's just like commons and rares. It's like could be cheap, too. Just like update your precons.
You could split that with your friends, if you each got different ones.
Yeah, that could be cute.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing that they talked about on there was the current CC format, that they think it's in a good place. But it's been in the same place for a while, so might be kind of time to shake it up.
Unfortunately, I thought I was gonna be the first to sneeze today.
Something got to me.
Hey, Fever. I do think Classic Constructed is in a good place. I don't know if it's a controversial take or not. I think when we were talking before, you mentioned that they felt good about the triangle format that's kind of existing at the moment. And like, I tend to agree. I don't think it's like a strict triangle per se. Like, I don't think it's just your Cinder, Verdance, Gravy triangle that's just dominating the meta. They're obviously the three best decks. I think I've said this in the past. But they're not so dominant that there isn't space for other decks to also still be viable options.
Right.
Like, you can still play your Dios, your Prisms, your KOs. If you like, you just might need to tech them for your specific metagame. Like, they're less ubiquitous, I guess. Like, if you're playing a format or like a local metagame where there's a lot of gravies, you might want to play some more gravy hate in there. If you're playing against a format that has a lot of like verdances, maybe KO becomes a more viable option. Things of that nature. Or like Kano, if there's a lot of gravies in your local area. Like, these three decks are powerful and are clearly the best, but they're not so dominant again that you can't step outside of that, stray from that, play other things. So I do tend to agree that the format is in a great place. I have some friends actually who speculated on what said shakeup is going to be, and as much as I don't want it to be, like, I do agree that it's probably going to be a Wrath of Retribution if I had to guess. That card is kind of not okay. It's something about being a 0 cost 11 power attack at times is just...
It's really... It's really good.
It's definitely won me some games that it shouldn't have. But it's only a one-off, like, you don't need to worry about it. You're only going to see it, like, roughly a third of the time using my previous math.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I really don't mind Eliza's like using BNRs to shake up the meta. Like, we have more frequent BNRs now. I said this on Fashion Buds too. Like, I don't mind him using that to shake up the meta when it's like the meta has been stale for a while. We are kind of like a little bit of ways away from like the top tier event where it's like I don't think they should like go doing crazy things right before a top tier event or when it's unnecessary. But in a time like now, like I do think the meta is healthy. I do think we've been in it for a little while. I don't have a problem with shifting the tides a little bit. Rather Retribution is a very good card. That'd be interesting. I don't know. We'll have to see. When does that come out? What is the next BNR?
It's a great question.
It's like soon.
Yeah. BCG 10 and restricted announcement. I remember the last time I tried to. I'm not interested in AI mode. The next one is Monday, December the 15th. So by the time you're watching
It's
this,
out. Let us know what happened.
yeah. Comment down below what you think got banned.
Who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be cards you've already seen because you're watching this after you've seen the ban and restriction announcement.
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses? It's putting you on the spot.
No, well, rather Retribution, I could see. Yeah, I could see like Syndra, I think, taking a hit. Like Syndra is. I don't love playing against her.
You've got the wrong co-host for pitch plays. Okay, if we say the triangle we were talking about just before, just a quick random side segment. For the three heroes, if you had to ban one card from each of them, what would they be?
Okay, so we both unanimously agree Wrath of Retribution
Begrudgingly, yes.
shot down from Syndra.
Mhm.
And then
I wish they'd ban Oath of Loyalty so I can stop playing that card because I hate drawing two of them.
should we go hero by hero? So let's see.
Yeah, go hero by hero. So let's go Verdance next.
Yeah. I don't know. You think Verdance has any like problem cards? I really don't think Verdance is like. I feel like Verdance is just a good deck.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything that feels like super unbalanced for Verdance. Like maybe you could.
Oh. There's one card that is very unbalanced.
Yeah.
It unfortunately makes like Florian significantly worse and every other Earth hero, but it would be like Felling of the Crown.
Yeah, I was about to say Felling, but like you said, you can't hit Felling.
Yeah,
without hitting.
It kind of makes
Earth. Yeah, without just like nuking.
There'd be no reason to play Jarl. Like you have to really love Oakenold if you want to play Jarl if they hit Felling of the Crown. You could maybe like.
Is Felling that unbalanced though?
Yeah, it's a 2-card 11 value card.
Yeah, I understand that. That is true, but I also feel like when I play against a Verdance, like I feel like I can play around what Verdance is trying to do and like predict Verdance a little bit better than like Syndra, who's just constantly explosive every single turn. So I guess that's why, to me, I'm like, Felling is like a really crazy good card, but it doesn't feel like it makes Verdance like just like you can't deal with her because of Felling, you know?
Yeah, I think it's the kind of case where the card isn't unpredictable. Like, you know when it's going to happen and like how you can try to play around it. More so the fact that it's just inevitable. Like, it's just going to be backbreaking regardless of when it's cast, as long as it's not the first decompose. And even when it's the first decompose, it's still like not the worst card. It's still like a 2-card 7 in terms of value, which is fine. Felling definitely feels like the most, well, to me anyway, feels like the most unfair thing that Verdance does.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you want to ban Storm Striders.
I would say unless you try and like hit her in arcane somewhere.
Mhm. I mean, Kano's almost gone, and I say this as a joke, seems like they have a habit of banning cards from Kano every time he gets close to hitting Living Legend. So, like, you might as well hit Storm Striders.
Now,
It doesn't affect Astilio in any way.
well, if you wanted to just get rid, like you could just, I don't know, maybe just light up the leaves if you want to arcane and only
Yeah.
hit Verdance, but that card is like not an issue. It is like a 6
No.
arcane spell that is an earth spell, which I think is like if you wanted to hit Verdance arcane wise and not hit any other wizard. But
I think it's not actually that unreasonable to remove it from the format. Like, it's a pretty powerful effect to have 6 copies of.
yeah, sure.
But I don't think you can get rid of Burn Berry because Burn Berry is more fairly costed, being a non-resource card, and also being the wizard answer to Prism is also big. So I think, like, it would be the more fair of the two to hit if you wanted to go the route of removing some of their 6 power damage. That was a weird sentence. But the downside is that it's a fairly new card, and people have spent a fair amount of money trying to get them. And like, I know you probably shouldn't take money too much into factor, but like the fact that it's just so new comparatively to Burn Bear makes me a little bit more hesitant to move Light of the Leaves right now.
Yeah.
I think Felling would be the card that goes. And if they're to remove a card from Verdant. Sadly for Jarl and Florian.
I don't want them to hit Felly. And I don't even
I don't either.
play
I love the card.
Verdance. But if you hit Wrath of Retribution and honestly anything out of Gravy and leave Verdance with Felling, Verdance does just like not fall in the same way that the other two do. So I guess if you have to like do an equal hit, Felling would be the card.
You could hit Plowlander, which is like less impactful. It does remove like a. It's not the same.
It's not the same. You could, but I think if you were, I think you'd hit. I think maybe hit Light of the Leaves before Lavender.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so then hitting something out of Gravy.
There's a good portion of viewers that'd be like everything that says the word ally on the bottom can be removed.
I would say I think it has to be an ally. But like, we've already hit Gravy. I feel bad for the guy. He's just too good.
I think it's Chart the High Seas.
You think it's Chart? That Chart is a good card. Well, a lot of people thought it would be last ban, like they wanted Swell gone.
Yeah. I think Chart the High Seas is too swingy of a card. To the point where it's like maybe not healthy. Like when you hit a yellow and a blue off the chart, it means that you get the resources, you get the ally, and it triggers the blue to trigger like the Gravy thing itself. It's like a 1-card ally, basically. Including the pitch. When it's good. And when it's bad, it's like horrendous.
It's really
but
bad.
That's but you have like some agency over it. I think Tritis is like maybe the most like if we assume that you can't hit not gravy buttons, if we assume you can't hit any of the majestic allies. Or like Sawbones and
Chum.
Chum.
So yeah, I think if you were to hit an ally, you would hit Chum, but it just feels like if you hit Chum, the deck becomes too bad because like Chum carries so much weight in a lot of matchups for Gravy.
Well,
that is, I think if you hit Chum, he just like loses certain matchups.
I think they don't hit Chum for the same reasoning they haven't hit Arclight Sentinel yet. Like, if you're not willing to get rid of Arclight Sentinel, I don't think you get rid of Chum.
Yeah.
because they fill similar-ish roles. I think Chum is actually the more powerful card of the two contextually, because he's also a weapon for 4. And with current Prism, Arclight Sentinel does not attack. But yeah, I think Chum is unique enough and does something different, whereas something like a Sawbones is just kind of ridiculously powerful in every sense. Like, it's a blue that attacks for 6 that can also prevent damage and has slightly more health than Rigor Mortis to the point where you can't just Kadachi them. If you were to ban an ally, I think Sawbones is the hit.
Sawbones
For
is
me, anyway.
A yellow.
Yes.
Yes. You said a blue?
Oh. I mean, like, it costs 2 to play and 1 to attack.
I understand now what you were saying. Like, if you have a blue and Sawbones. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, I meant something. Yeah, no, that's fair. Sawbones, Chum. Okay, so it feels like Syndra, there's no debate. Wrath of Retribution.
Yeah.
With Verdance and Gravy, there is like some debate here happening, because we've got Light Up Beliefs, we've got Storm Striders, we've got Plowunder, Felling, and then Gravy, Charthizy, Sawbones, Chum. It's just, I don't know. I'm happy I don't have to make these decisions. I'll say that. So
it's not an enviable position to be responsible for an entire game's ecosystem.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's like hard because it's like, oh, you want to switch up the meta, so you want to like hit these cards to kind of knock these decks out the top, but then also you don't want these decks to just like not be bad, but you don't want them to like run the meta. And but I guess at the same time, like, LSS likes, they stated that they like this like triangle meta, right? So if you knock these 3 decks down, hit them hard, like, in their mind, they want just another 3 decks to come to the top, right? So I don't know.
And that's if they even want to try and knock these 3 decks down. Like, if they enjoy where the meta is at the moment and they just want other decks to come up slightly more, the banning might not be as impactful as we expect, other than maybe Wrath of Retribution.
Watch them ban nothing. Watch it. We're having this whole conversation.
We're going to shake up the format, and by that we mean your expectations, because nothing's changing. But I do like what they did with the Gravy ban previously, where they made the deck obviously worse, but not so much that the Gravy deck wasn't still playable, because obviously it's still one of the top 3 decks. It's just no longer the top deck, strictly. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see like a ban that tries to imitate that sort of like effect, where it just changes things up slightly. You hit something that's like not super impactful to the deck, but enough that it helps other decks kind of catch up a bit.
Yeah, and I'm looking at, we're talking about a triangle meta. But really, I just pulled up like the world CC meta breakdown. Gravy was represented at 32 players. Verdance was represented at third most represented deck at 32 players. Verdance was represented second most represented deck at 67 players. So there, we double from third to second. And then Syndra, top represented deck at 86 players. So like the jump, from Gravy at 32 to Syndra at 86, like that's a significant difference. So
almost 200% more.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Just having a rave.
Ooh. So like that's like a really big difference. So I'm not even sure that you need to hit Gravy. Maybe, definitely, I think need to hit Syndra, and then maybe hit Verdance.
What are you doing?
Not to hate. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
If I have time to make a short trailer for this, I feel like this is the moment. No context to the rest of the episode whatsoever, and I'll finish with like Kasai at the end.
Yeah, just like a rave and Kasai, make a sick beat. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. So yeah, that is the meta, and it's the end of 2025.
It is, yeah. God.
This is probably the last like podcast episode where it'll just be the two of us who sit down and do 2025 together. No. This is probably the last episode of 2025 where it's just the two of us who sit down and talk and have a podcast together. So we should do some 2025 faves. And I didn't think of any. But we're just going off the hip here. The segment can't be too long anyway. We're already over an hour in. What was your favorite event of 2025?
God, what a question. For me, in terms of ones I physically went to, my favorite event was probably the calling in Auckland, which is a much smaller calling than the rest of the world's kind of ones. But it was nice to be able to draft Welcome to Wraith again, and to play Sealed with Welcome to Wraith, and then I did the Battle Hardened with Arcane Rising, and really it kind of took me back to like the mechanics of the game and the gameplay of the game that kind of brought me in the first place. Of course, it was lovely to see Carolina come all the way to New Zealand for that as well, and hang out with some of the people around my country, doing karaoke and open mic situations. That was a lot of fun. That's probably, event-wise, my Flesh and Blood moment of the year. Shout outs to the Calling Taihape, which is an unofficial event that I run. And the downside was getting bitten by a lot of various insects. Not so good. But getting drunk and doing commentary, fantastic time.
Yeah, both of those events seemed so fun. I had FOMO for both of those. And the New Zealand I actually wanted to go to, but just too close to Singapore. Like Carolina, did go. I think she stayed in Asia though, between Singapore and then before she went down to New Zealand. Yeah. I think mine was Nationals. I don't really like Vegas events, but I just had a lot of fun at Nationals, like hanging out with my friends. Really made the best of it. Played like so much High C Sealed, and got to cosplay twice that weekend, which was just so fun. Of course, like Singapore also had a lot of fun things about it, but I don't know. As far as just like vibes and like being able to just like enjoy myself and have fun and be with friends, I would say Vegas. That's Vegas. Yeah.
Favorite card of this year?
Oh, that would be Bloodfall is Blade. Bloodfall is Blade. Yeah.
What's that one?
The new Kazai card that came out in Super Cinema.
Is it the Centauri Sellsword on hit one?
Yeah.
That card is absurd. Oh my god.
It's so good. Yeah. I had it right before. That card is just like, I mean, seeing that card was... When they announced that card, just like, damn. I love LSS and LSS loves me. You know?
I did not pay attention to that card when it was spoiled. I'm like, oh, there's a Kasai spoiler poster, like one for every hero. Almost. And then when my opponent played it against me, I'm like, what does that card do? And they're like, oh yeah, it just makes a token when this hits. I'm like, what? you just have it? You don't have to pay for it? It's just there?
It's just a 0 cost yellow block for 3 that says target sword gets go again, and on hit, create a Centauri Sellsword. And it's a reaction, not an action. So like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it's
It's so good.
so good.
I used just like not blocking Kasai attacks. I'm like, yeah, you have no on hits, it's fine. Oh, you make a gold token. Oh. And then suddenly there's a dude standing there just looking at me with 3 power. I'm like, excuse me? Why are you here?
What the heck? Yeah, and
Where did you come from?
I've never really been a fan of like Raise an Army. Like,
Mhm.
not, it's just not blood on our hands. It's just like, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of it. And Centauri sellswords are kind of hard to make. This is good. And
This one is
it's not like what Raise an Army where it's like turn your gold that you want to use to draw cards into Centauri sellswords. This is like, you just make Centauri, just make one. Just have it for free.
just have it.
Just have it
Yeah.
for free. Literally for nothing. You just get it. It's so good.
This card just wingman for you. Like, this reaction is like, hey, I'm gonna give you a sword, go again. Also, you should meet my friend. His name's Centauri Sellsword.
Damn. What's your favorite card of 2025?
My favorite card of this year is Wrath of Retribution.
Well, we might.
I might need to change that in a week's time.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, that card is gone. Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it just emotionally encapsulates like Syndra's like power, and like it feels very draconic in terms of being really angry and like just reaching a tipping point of just like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now.
The art is nice too.
The art is nice. My friend conned me into buying the playmat off him, which I haven't paid for yet, so I hope he's not listening.
Surely not.
Just being real. But yeah, otherwise, my favorite card is Treasure Island, which I don't know if that counts as a card, but like, that really just changed the way I view Flesh and Blood Limited.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
And-
Oh, sorry.
No, that's basically it.
Oh.
Like, I just can't imagine Limited without fun mini games now.
It's so good. It honestly is like incredible. Like they really hit it out the park with Treasure Island.
Mhm.
What was your favorite new hero of 2025?
The Hunted was 2025, right?
The Hunted was
Yeah.
2025. I forgot that,
Is it a
but yes, it was.
Yeah. Like, it's either Syndra or Pleiades. Like, I don't normally like aggro decks. I have played Boost Dash in the past, and that was like... But, you know, like, normally I prefer, like, the slower kind of mid-range decks. They kind of do things and block pretty well, and so on and so forth. With on-hits. Like, I didn't enjoy Briar. Playing with or against it, Briar was just not the kind of deck for me. Despite the fact that Syndra feels very similar, is it because she's a redhead? Is it because she's drawn by Livia Prima? I don't know. But I think like Syndra is the hero that I've picked up this year. I guess that's like most new. I mean, I play Pleiades as well. I think she's cool. I think she's a lot of fun. I don't think she's good at the moment. But I have a lot of fun until I draw 4 blues or 4 reds and then lose the game from that point onwards.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yours?
It's definitely Gravy Bones. The only hero to turn my head, you know, away from, because aside from Ocilio, but like that was
that was last year though.
Yeah, that no,
right?
but I meant like to turn my head away from Kasai. Ocilio and I just really love him. I don't actually play him. I just really love him. But Gravy, I like played and took to events. Like I actually didn't take Kasai to any major events this year because I just took Gravy. I loved him. Yeah. Loved past tense. Loved him. That's my guy.
You could say loved. He's dead.
No, not to me.
He's like, but like, you know, his literal body is ghostly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Is there any more favorites we can do before the...
Favorite set was we had Super Slam, High Seas, and The Hunted. I think that was all of them.
And Mastery Pack Guardian.
Of course.
My favorite set was not The Hunted. I'm looking at the sets right now. Despite loving Syndra so much, and thinking that Fire is a really cool hero, and Arachne provides a lot of cool stuff, I think just High Seas Limited brings High Seas to the top for me.
Yeah. I
love all the High Seas heroes. They're cool. The limited format literally can't stop gushing about. And there's a Puffin poster on my wall.
High Seas could be, if High Seas had a warrior instead of a ranger, perfect set. Could never be
Pirate Monkey.
Could never be beat.
Pirate Monkey Warrior.
Pirate Monkey Warrior, anything, please. No, High Seas, yeah, definitely my favorite set also. I just don't think I'll ever get sick of that limited format before. I said, Welcome to Wraith was like that. WTR was always I drafted as much as I could. I loved Welcome to Wraith, but I feel that now High Seas definitely my favorite limited format. I'll always, if I have a say, I'm always picking High Seas. Yeah.
There are two gripes I have with that set, which admittedly is not very many considering how many things we could complain about. I didn't like the treasure packs. I thought they were cool in concept, but the fancy gold versions of cards that were only draft playable were a feel bad to open.
Yeah, what was that?
And then secondly, I wanted my illusionist squid summoning Kraken Ursula Queen of the Sea character to be real. And she's not. Yeah. High Seas too.
It's a shame.
I would like Ursula.
It's a shame. She would have been hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would have been hot. All Flesh and Blood heroes are hot. Anyway.
Hottest Flesh and Blood hero of 2025.
What's the hottest Flesh and Blood hero of 2025? I think that was Syndra, but
yeah. Honorable mention to Bolton's dead.
If you don't know what Kiki is talking about, go back and watch a few episodes ago where we did Bolton's dead wife fanfiction. She's super hot. She's gonna make an appearance soon.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else we have to talk?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, hopefully we can get a guest for next week. This is the last recording we're doing as a pair, but we're planning on pre-recording stuff, so hopefully we have content throughout December, early January regardless. We'll see if we can follow through on that. So keep an eye out for those. We'll do some play stuff. And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Of course, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for hanging out. Share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, where can the people find you, Kiki?
You can find me at kikibird.bsky.social on Bluesky. You can find me at kiki_LA93 on Twitter. And yourself?
I am eHamontree on everything. All of the social media. I am just eHamontree. That is like bacon on bush or pork on shrubbery, ham on tree. So yeah. And we will see you all later. Probably a few more times, not just as the two of us, but probably a few more times before the end of 2025. And we have some exciting things for 2026. So that's it.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.